Half pipe, full chimp. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
Wow.
Starting 2021 with a fucking bank with this movie. Welcome to episode 124, I think, of I Hope You Suffer. My name is Bernie the Monkey.
I got nothing funny. I don't know. Whatever. Dave.
Al
Kettering.
Borland.
Al Borland.
Uh, Hello.
That's Air Bud. This week we watched 2001's MVP2, Most Vertical Primate. And none of us have seen MVP1.
Spoilers. Doesn't get very vertical.
Yeah. So
No.
spoilers, this is still basically a hockey movie.
We definitely should have watched Spymate because I just realized it's like a spy monkey, but Emma Roberts is a little girl.
Yeah, that's for some reason that was their idea after Most Extreme Primate, which is the third movie in the series that is just snowboarding movie. And then all of a sudden he becomes a spy.
My other question is, if this monkey's name is Bernie in real life, why are they calling him Jack? Why couldn't he just be Bernie? Because Louie is Louie.
I also like that they spelled his name wrong in the movie.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because they have him listed as Bernie, Berny.
Oh, yeah. They're like, he's a monkey. Who cares?
Yeah, so this movie, directed by Robert Vince, written by 4 people.
How?
Oh, wait, 3 people.
Still how?
And Vince, Robert Vince, and Elon Musk. Elon Mastai, something like that.
I think it's Elon Musk.
Starring Bernie the Monkey, Louie the Monkey. This isn't necessarily in famous order because it's like in the order they appear in the movie. What the fuck was this kid's name? Ben?
Ben. You have to click on
That's
see full
Scott
cast.
Goodman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're still in the order of like when they appeared because Richard Karn and Ben are like towards the end. Also stars Lucy, Annie, Mac, and Baby Jack who played the Chimp family.
Yeah, I was trying to remember one of the other monkeys' names to say I was, but no, it didn't come to me.
Why? Oh, there he is. Bob Burnquist as himself.
Okay, here answers my question here. So, this trivia says, though uncredited, the majority of the skating scenes were filmed by a wee man from MTV's Jackass in a gorilla costume. I was like, watching it, like,
What?
that's not the monkey, is it?
I assume like the only time it's the monkeys when you see like a straight on where where it's actually you see the monkey on the skateboard,
Yeah.
which he looks extremely ungraceful and scared to be on.
Listen, this monkey is not very good at skateboarding.
I have a lot of questions about the plot of this movie,
Yes.
the logistics of things in this movie.
Hmm.
Like the idea that Al Borland could just be like, well, I don't have any kids living in my house, so he could just come live with me. And they're like, sounds good to me. Don't worry about filling out paperwork. You just
Also-
own this kid now.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get into it because this movie, first of all, it doesn't really make any sense. So the plot says it seems that Jack's hockey skills translate directly into tearing up the halfpenny and popping sick grinds.
The fuck
With his
is
new
half
buddy
penny?
Ben, By his side, Jack takes off on a cross-country skateboard competition tour with hilarious results. I'm sorry, what?
That is not in this movie.
No.
So the first, like, it takes 40 minutes of this hour 20-minute movie for Jack to touch a skateboard,
Yeah,
or
it's
really
just like
even see a skateboard.
I had to keep checking to make sure I was watching the correct movie because the first like half of it is just him playing hockey.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
I
I was like,
completely forgot this was a hockey movie or a skateboard movie. I thought it was a hockey movie, and I was like, they kicked him off the team so fast. What is the rest of this movie gonna be?
Well, I kind of like I checked a couple times, but it made sense that it was the sequel because like the movie started with him just being like drafted, and they're just like he's like our final draft pick is Jack, and everyone's like what? Yeah, they're like Jack, and then they're just like
the
oh
monkey.
right,
Yeah.
and I was just like oh this is strange. And then he hits a skateboard and end of movie.
I want to live in a world where it's just totally normal and not questioned that chimpanzees are drafted to hockey leagues.
Yeah, right.
Also that they're just like wearing clothes and walking around and like can hitchhike and people just like talk to them like they're normal people.
I
Yeah, like it's
have
not a big deal.
so many concerns about the fact that they let Jack and Louie get back into this fucking RV with this old man.
Oh my God, yeah. He's like just this like drunk old guy like swerving in and out of traffic.
E-
Sometimes the monkey's driving the RV. Like
Every
what?
every adult in this movie should be in jail
Yeah.
for
Okay,
Agreed.
because like in the beginning too, it's like also I wanted to point out that in the credits it says that the chimps were provided by Going Ape.
it checks
That's
out.
like the name of the chimp group. Um, and the lady it has like this monkey family, which I assume we find out why she has them or like why they're special in the first movie. But there's only two of them that wear clothes, Jack and Louie.
I can't believe we did not watch Russell Madness about a wrestling dog.
Looks
Is it?
incredible.
When a man inherits his grandfather's arena, he and his family try to restore the family wrestling business with the help of a talking monkey and their star attraction, a wrestling dog. There's gotta be. I gotta fucking see
I was
who's
gonna
in this
ask if it was
cast.
a Jack Russell Terrier,
Of course it
but
is.
I see. Ew, no. Okay, I can't watch this though because it's got one of those little tiny, gross monkeys.
This movie has Will Sasso and Fred Willard in it.
Oh my God.
Is Will Sasso who you're calling a gross monkey? Fucked up.
I
There is
do not.
somebody named Scotty Mack plays Butt the Clown.
I'm in.
100%. I don't see any wrestlers in this, I don't think. Which is a. You could have gotten somebody to be in this movie.
I want to see Rey Mysterio
Just-
wrestle the Jack Russell.
I want to see this Jack Russell take on Big Papa Pump.
Wow.
Maybe I just don't recognize any of these names, but there's not a wrestler name on here I recognize, so. Anyway, let's talk about skateboarding monkeys, I guess.
Well, okay, let's just the like literally the beginning of the first at least half an hour is like we already said he's like living on a monkey farm. He gets drafted, and his trainer is just like, "All right, see ya," and just like leaves him to go to Seattle, which is where the hockey team is.
It rules
And
if you just rode a bus. Like,
yeah,
just
she's
like,
just
all right,
was
you're
like,
on your
"Bye."
own. Here's your luggage, and he just
Like, I
rides the
know.
bus out there.
So this, I guess we didn't. I mean, most vertical primate, they are chimps. They really creep me out. I don't like any kind of monkeys. I hate them actually. And like this guy just walking around wearing clothes and making faces was
Even
just a
even
lot
howler
for me.
monkeys.
I hate them.
Oh, I have to inform you guys that John Morrison, the wrestler, is in this Jack Russell movie.
Oh hell yeah, John Morrison's so good.
Oh,
Is he gonna wrestle the
I
dog?
assume he gets beat by the dog.
Wow. They shouldn't
Katie,
be letting what?
How can you hate an Emperor Tamarin monkey?
I hate all monkeys. Their faces are scary. Their teeth are scary.
Not
They,
the Emperor Tamarin. He's whimsical. He
what
has a
else?
Oh,
mustache.
one of the the
I don't
Singh
know.
brothers, I think is how they're pronounced. That was always with what's his name?
Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, is in this movie too. What a cast! Actually, I think both of them are in it.
Kit, this monkey is okay because it looks like an otter. I don't really like him though, to be honest. Like he's
Come on, you could go on an adventure with him.
okay. If I were, he kind of looks like a little otter bear. Ew, okay, but his teeth. Oh
Yes.
no.
So in fucking
Ew.
MVP 2, did you
Ugh.
notice that like Jack's teeth changed almost all the time because it's just like a different monkey all the time? That was like
No,
Get a
but
stunt double.
sometimes like he
not
had
monkey.
like, pretty like regular fine looking teeth, and then sometimes they were just fucking jacked up.
Yeah.
But also they could have just filmed it crazy, just busted all of his fucking teeth out, pretty making him skateboard, so who knows?
He lost those teeth whenever he was playing hockey.
Yeah, that's right.
That checks out.
Yeah, you're right. I do see, because like whenever the monkey gets up on the pipe with him at the end, he's like, "Wah!" And he's like screaming, and his teeth are normal. Gross.
Katie, I'm just gonna
Anyways,
send monkey pictures to
that's
the group
okay.
chat this
I
whole
don't-
podcast.
I don't need them.
I think you do.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Jack the monkey goes to Seattle and he meets the owner of the Simians, who was the hockey team, and he's like, "Hey, here you go, here's a monkey." And the coach is like, "LOL, okay." And there's this one guy who is in real life Cameron Bancroft, who I definitely recognize, but then when I was like looking through his stuff, I don't know that I've seen any of it really, so I don't know why I recognized him, but he's basically like the hot shot on the team, and he's like, "I fucking hate Bucky's. You can't make a mockery of me. I'm not gonna play." I mean, they're from Seattle, so they don't sound like that, but he's essentially like, "I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna do hockey for you if this monkey's on the ice." And the coach is just like, "LOL, calm down." Um, and then there's just like they're like losing their first game, and the coach puts in Jack, and then they just like start winning. And also for some reason there's like a professional ice skater on their team, so he just is like fancy skating all the time, and they win the game.
This team is
They're
made up of a wild amalgamation of people.
Yeah, there's like ice skater, there's like that Swedish guy that's always eating, I called him hot dog guy. He's just like always eating hot dogs. It's very strange. Maybe this, like, I don't know. Are these the same? Is this the same team from the first movie? Probably not, but I don't know.
I don't,
It was
yeah,
just like
like
a weird angle to go for.
it wouldn't make sense for all of them. Like the guy that's being a dick about having to play with a monkey seems like he wouldn't be from the same
Right.
team.
Yeah. But then everyone else seems fine with him.
I will
So-
say at least
What was
for
the name of the team in the first one? If they waited
Oh,
for the second one
that was-
to be the
so-
Seattle
The Simians.
Simians.
that was one of my questions or one of my concerns with this movie is that the other team is the LA Carjackers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Luckily, all white guys, but
It is kind of
not great.
yeah, no. So yeah, they just have like a montage of them winning, and then what's his name in the movie? Rob.
Schneider.
So Rob's the one. Oh my god, I wish that would have been so wacky. Rob is the one who was like used to be like the star. Now he's being overshadowed by a monkey, and he's mad about it. So he goes to the local diner and he gets drunk on chocolate milkshakes. And
That was the other aspect I liked about his character. He's like, bartender, give me another, and it's just like 5 empty milkshake bottles.
and then he goes, make it a double. And I was like, how? What? How? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so then he's like down on his luck. These kids come over and he thinks they're gonna ask for an autograph, and they're like, "Hey, can you introduce us to Jack?" And he's like, "Fuck off." And then he's like back at the locker room, and he's like talking to his daughter on the phone. He's like, "Oh, I miss you too, sweet pea," or whatever. Then he hangs up the phone and sees that in Jack's locker there is a picture of Jack and Louie. And then he gets all sentimental because he's like, "I didn't know you had a family," and now they're best friends. I was just like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. Then they go for milkshakes together.
It's just,
Like,
I
what a
love it.
weird
Like,
turn of events.
that's what made him be like, oh, I should probably not beat the shit out of this fucking monkey.
Yeah, because he's got a brother, he's got a family, and then he's just like, "Here's my family. I'm trying to get traded or something so that I can be with my family or something." They're best friends.
Yeah.
So then during one of the games, I also like, okay, to be fair, I don't really know how sports work, but I don't feel like they should be playing the same team this many. They play the Carjackers like 3 times in this movie because like they're
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like they go from the drafts to just immediately like in the Stanley Cup Finals or whatever they fucking call it.
yeah, but they don't ever like mention anything about what's going on because they play them in the very beginning and then they play them here and the coach of the other team is like, "Ah, that monkey is too good. We're going to put him out of commission."
Do they ever say what the Z and ZHL stands for?
Not
I
that I
assume
know of.
Zamboni.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say zebra.
Zamboni
Well, I hope it's
Hockey
zebras.
League.
Like, there's a team out there that has a zebra. So then it's the team
I
with the monkey
went-
versus the team with the
I
zebra.
went MVZ. Most valuable zebra.
I want to see a zebra on ice skates in this movie.
Yeah.
I want to see a zebra on a skateboard.
Yeah. Come on, get at us, home Airbud Entertainment.
The zebra
So-
versus Bob Burnquist in X Games Best Trick Competition.
Has to use 2 skateboards for all 4 feet.
Quadruple kickflip.
I love it. Wow. He could really rack up points really fast then. So essentially, like, I don't know what the deal was, but like this guy has something funky going on with his glove so that he goes and tackles Jack on the ice and something inside the glove like cuts his hand and he pretends that Jack has bitten him.
Well, he has
He had like ketchup, right? Or
I
some
don't-
shit.
Oh.
I couldn't tell if it was that or if he like cut himself to make it look like he got bit, but like he has the glove where it looks like it got tore up by being bit by.
Okay, yeah.
Something
I
like
knew
that.
something was weird about the glove. Anyways, he pretends that Jack bites him and he's like, "Ah, this guy bit me." And they essentially throw him out of hockey and he's
I-
depressed and he
Well,
leaves.
no.
I got so mad watching this because
Yes.
they like everyone turns on Jack. So it's just like a slow, sad montage of the entire crowd booing Jack, and he's just like staring that sad, dead-eyed chimpanzee stare.
That
And it's
creepy
it's
ass.
so devastating looking.
He's like the only one on the ice.
Yeah, and the coach is like, "Maybe you should wait in the changing room," and then he like lays it back there and it's just like staring.
I just
Motherfuckers, how dare they boo Jack?
I like that
Off.
what they're just like, well, we're gonna do like an internal review and figure out if something happened. And Jack's like, fuck this, I'm just gonna go be homeless instead.
Like essentially,
Literally,
he just like
like
leaves.
puts on his pants, his shoes, and his fucking tight leather jacket, and then just goes
He also
and like
wears underwear.
sleeps in a dumpster full of like what looks like cardboard, I guess.
So this part was confusing to me because he's like in a dumpster and then the dump truck like picks up the dumpster but then just like sets it down somewhere else later. Like that's not how that works. Cuz then like after he puts the dumpster down that's when he pops out and sees Ben skateboarding. Okay.
I also like all of the fucking like insane footage of him playing hockey. Like
It's a lot.
again, at least the first 30 minutes of this movie is a fucking hockey movie.
Yeah, there's like so much of it. Like to be fair, most of this movie is a hockey movie because then
Yeah, because the last like
at the
15 minutes or
end,
so.
yeah, is all hockey also. So like, anyways, it was I wouldn't really call this a skateboard movie, but so then because it's also like not about him skateboarding. It's just like the kid, you know?
It
Anyways, so he sees Ben. Ben is like this kid who is homeless or he lives in a foster home and he like ran away. Okay, so he's just like living on his own and he is getting money from this guy who is like, "Oi, put up these flyers and I'll give you $2." And so he goes to like put up these
Justice was there. I
flyers.
didn't remember seeing Connor Sweeney in this movie.
I wish.
The kid had
Connor
cabbage on
Sweeney
his head the whole
is
time.
most valuable zebra.
I'll watch that.
Same.
Uh, so Ben is like got these flyers from this like old paper boy, and he's like, here. So he's like putting up these flyers, and they're like wanted posters of Jack, and they have this like. First of all, I just want to start by saying this kid Ben has no emotions. He's just like the most like he just has no emotions. He's just like a plate face
Yeah, this
child.
kid sucks as an actor.
So he's like, oh, looking at the flyer, and he's like, oh, is he dangerous? And the guy goes, he's a hockey player. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? That has
I
nothing
laughed.
to do with
I
what
laughed
happened.
so hard.
So then we
Uh,
see,
Also, the cop in this movie, pretty great.
yeah.
Pretty good at being a cop.
So this is when we find out about, I don't remember his real name again, Richard Karn.
Yeah. Al Borland.
Just call him Al.
That's what I wrote, Al. Al has a skate shop called, his name is Oliver Plant in the movie, and so the skate shop is called Ollie's, which is pretty good. And he's like in there, he looks like your typical 2000s dude. He's got like a skate shirt with like a plaid overshirt over it, and his hair's like sort of got highlights, and he just looks like, what are you doing, man? And so he's in a skate shop, and a social worker comes up and is like, hey, have you seen this kid Ben? Like, he ran away from home. Call me if you see him. And he's like, yeah, sure. So then we just sort of get some scenes of Jack being sat on a roof. Ben goes in Ollie's, and he like sees this poster for a competition, and then also there's this kid in there that's like, I'm sponsored. Put this on my credit.
I think
And
that
then,
was the kid that comes in like second place at the end.
yeah, yeah.
Because I think
And
they
so,
only had 4 kids in this entire movie.
I mean, yeah, they only knew 4 kids that could sort of skateboard. So then, and then the kids also like bought a new skateboard. So Al is like, hey, I will just throw away this board if you don't want it. It'll be back in the trash can. So if anyone wants to go back there and get it, like it's gonna be back there essentially.
So let's talk about Al Borland in this movie for a minute. Like, he already kind of said like what he looks like, but every time they show him, he's essentially wearing, instead of a flannel shirt, like a more
Like a Tommy Bahama shirt.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I was gonna say Pac Sun.
I was gonna say like it's just like not even like a mall skate shop. Like, it's worse than that. It's definitely like a PacSun, or like your dad who thinks he's a skateboarder but like only tries to shop from like the fucking young boys department of like JC Penney's. And
Yeah,
then like
that's fair.
they consistent, like anytime they go into his shop, Ollie's, they're playing like the most generic Saved by the Bell, like quote unquote punk music.
I meant to look up the who did the music because it's terrible.
I watched through the credits specifically to try to figure out, and like it's all just like pretty much bullshit, I think, written by people for the movie, kind of like how they would do for like Saved by the Bell,
Yeah.
because I didn't recognize anything. Like, because
Death on Wednesday, I think is that like quote unquote punk song that plays whenever they start ripping it.
Oh, when they're just fucking shredding all over the fucking halfpenny.
Yeah. The
Yeah, maybe even a full penny.
Yeah, like just I don't like I guess Junction 18's a real band because it's courtesy of Fearless Records.
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah.
Oh, Mastodon was in this movie?
What?
No, I'm just, I'm just kidding.
I was like, who?
There was whenever Jack hops on the board like by himself for the first time, and there's that like instrumental buildup. It sounds exactly like Hit the Lights, and I was like, did they toss a random fucking Metallica song in here? And then it was decidedly not Metallica.
I
And
like
I was so sad.
one of the songs of this movie is just called Silly Song.
Oh, was it when he was whipping up some pancakes?
Probably.
That scene was. I was like, what is happening?
This-
Also, the overall like theme song of the theme song that played in this was just like ridiculous.
Okay, so this is the song titles listed on IMDb. We have Beautiful Day. Makes sense. Two Friends. Okay.
Yep.
Stranded. Just a Little Rain. If You Want, Hitting the Road. And then you have Driving Me Bananas. Silly Song. Granite Street Knife Fight.
Oh.
Damn.
I gotta look up Junction 18 because they ain't fucking around.
No.
Oh, it's just these guys look like cool dudes.
Do they look like they can shred?
They look like something.
Wow, this.
We'll pull up. Yeah, the #1 song on Spotify, Granite Street Knife Fight. Oh yeah, this is definitely some fucking hitting that half pipe action.
That's yeah.
All right, enough of this bullshit.
They have a song called Lil Joey.
I-
Oh, they're
They have 56,000 plays on that song, and it's got to be all for people that watch this movie.
I think it's gotta be. My favorite thing is that underneath people also searched for this band. It's like Sugar Cult, Newfound Glory Saves the Day. Yep. Sure.
I mean, they have to have had some sort
Well-
of level of prominence if they were on Fearless Records, because Fearless Records was like pretty big in the early mid 2000s.
Yeah, but it says that they split up in 2006, so that's probably why they're 95 to 2006. Punk rock band out of Abington, Massachusetts.
I'm just I'm just like clicking on some of the names. Like it looks like this John M. Rosenberg person that's like behind a bunch of the songs on this. It just is like somebody that works for the Airbud production company.
That checks out.
It's oh boy, the guy that wrote Silly Song has done a lot of movies, including one called Snake and Mongoose.
Oh.
What is Most Valuable Players? Oh, this isn't about these movies. What the fuck? Oh, he worked on Mighty Ducks and Coneheads and Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
Okay.
And
Legend.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Oh.
Damn.
And
Took a little bit of a turn.
and Tremors.
What?
And right before Tremors, Police Academy 6, City Under Siege.
Wow.
All right, I take everything back I said about this. The music in this movie is perfect. Randy Miller, we stand.
Wow. What happened? Oh, Jack is sad. And
Is this when he's like run away and he's by himself, just living in a dumpster?
yeah, he's just walking around. Jack. Okay, so Jack's like walking around. Ben found out about the competition or whatever, and Jack like finds this abandoned pool where we find out that Ben is living there, and Jack like wants to go into the shack and sleep, but it's padlocked, so he goes up onto one of the like guard tower or like lifeguard chairs and sleeps up there somehow. And the next morning, Ben comes out and rips around the empty pool, and Jack watches him skate. They meet. Jack immediately starts eating Ben's food, and then Ben is like, "Hey, you want to try? You want to try?" And then Jack gets on the skateboard and can immediately just skate.
I gotta say, Ben's got a pretty good fucking setup going here. I don't really think he needs to go back to a foster home.
I mean,
Agreed.
except for the fact that, I mean, yeah, I guess not. Although, okay, so like they're in Seattle, and I think that they're trying to make it look like it's summertime, but it's definitely winter because when they're at the skate competition, you can like see his breath and
Yeah.
stuff. So like if it was wintertime, like legit wintertime, there's no way he would be just like freezing his balls off in that shack. But right now it's fine, whatever. He gets $2, maybe $5 to put up some stuff, and he buys himself some milk.
He's
Wonder where
getting
he goes to the
ripped off.
bathroom. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I assume in that pool.
Well. So yeah, so Ben lets Jack skate, and he's like, "Wow, you're good. Like, we need to get you a setup." So Ben goes dumpster diving behind Ollie's and gets a board and trucks and stuff out of the trash. I like how Al was just like, "Hey, I'm gonna throw this stuff back here, haha." But then when he hears like Ben dumpster diving, he always comes out and is like, "Hello, who's there?" And then he just like smiles, like, "Oh, that kid,"
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
got that look about him.
he just wants to take care of this weird kid.
Of the street urchin. So Ben like sets up the board for Jack, and they drink blue Gatorade, and Ben has the wanted poster and like holds it up to Jack and is like, "Is this you?" And I'm like, what other fucking chimpanzee wearing a yellow shirt is just walking around in Seattle? And then he's like, "It's okay, I won't tell anybody because you don't seem dangerous." Then they skate around for a little bit. Louie, who is Jack's brother, is watching TV and finds out that Jack is missing, and immediately hitchhikes to Seattle,
Did you?
holding a sign that he wrote himself that says Seeatil. Seattle.
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 So like that legitimately made me laugh. The idea that he made this sign. But also like when Jack and Ben are just like skating around the city, and like for some reason every fucking alleyway they go down, just all of the trash cans and shit for some reason have like wood boards on them, so they're ramps.
Yeah.
And like numerous times it looks like Jack is going to fall off this skateboard when you see like a full body shot of him, which is a bummer. Also, did you guys notice that every time Jack walks in this movie, his shoes squeak?
No, I didn't.
Oh my god, it was driving me fucking crazy because I was watching it like with my headphones on,
Oh.
and like every step he takes, or maybe it was just like one of his feet, I couldn't figure it out whether it was both or just one, but it had like a dog squeaky toy sound,
That's
and
weird.
it drove me fucking crazy.
Al could have easily gotten him new shoes.
Yeah, give him some fucking etnies. I saw
Maybe
the
they just,
stickers
like-
all over this fucking movie.
Oh my god, yeah. Maybe
This is
they
back
just
when snowshoes were real. Give him snowshoes.
Yeah, give him some soaps.
maybe they just like put him in there so that he wouldn't wander off. They could like hear him walking around, you know?
He wouldn't run away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please stop exploiting me for this movie.
They were just like, this monkey's gonna for real run away and make this a real tragedy, so just put little like squeaky toys under his shoes.
Yeah. So Louis is hitchhiking and gets picked up by this old man in a RV that is just like insane.
Oh my god, this
To me, the
this
idea that he's just like, oh, a hitchhiking chimpanzee, sure, come ahead,
I don't
come on
I
aboard.
don't think I think he thought it was like a person
I mean,
because
that checks
he
out.
says something at some point about like doctors say he needs to wear his glasses but he doesn't like them. He can't see the
Yeah,
fucking road.
yeah,
Like
that makes sense.
that dude was killing it. Just driving like a champ.
Yeah. So, Jesus. Ben gets goes to get flyers to put up, and it's like of the skate competition, and so he's like putting them up, and he takes one. And meanwhile, Jack changes clothes. Well, I assume he's just wearing Ben's clothes though, because like he didn't have other clothes.
Yeah, they're bros now. They
And
share clothes.
yeah, he puts on some sick sunglasses and he shreds the bowl. I wrote to the Ramones. Obviously, it wasn't the Ramones, but it was like,
It was Junction 18.
it was Junction 18. Songs about the knife fight or whatever. And this is where, okay, so Ben comes home after putting up the flyers and sees Jake like Jack. Why do I keep wanting to call him Jake? Sees Jack like just riding around inside the empty pool, right? And he's like, "Oh, hey, Jack." And Jack like falls and does this weird roll into a like casual lounging position. And he goes, "You're crazy," just like in his monotone voice.
Uh,
And
I was gonna
this is
say like, oh, finish this part real quick.
Oh, this is the part where like it kept freezing, so I watched this like weird sped up roll. You're crazy like 4 times, and I was like, please, for the love of God,
Can we talk?
let me get past this.
Can we talk about how much fucking Pepsi this monkey drank?
Oh my god. I was
It was
stunned.
like Kit with
He's just
Dr.
chugging
Pepper.
a whole liter bottle.
Oh, I didn't notice
Oh,
that.
like anytime, like when he first goes up and like meets Ben or whatever, and he just like sits down, and starts eating his food. Like he just gives him like it's it was whatever like those like giant bottles that aren't the 2 liters of soda. I guess maybe they're a 1 liter. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Of
Uh-huh.
like Pepsi, and he has another one of those later. At some point, he's got some like generic Gatorade sports drink thing. This monkey had to have so much fucking sugar.
How do you think
Well,
he got so vertical?
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess that's
right.
how he got
That's
so
what
fucking amped up to
needs some verts,
just
you
fucking
know?
be not terrified enough to actually slide down these ramps.
Yeah. Um, so Ben, then later they're chilling, and Ben says if he could win the skate competition, then he would get sponsored, and then they could get their own place. And I'm like, you just met this monkey earlier that day. Like, why all of a sudden is he somebody you need to take care of? I don't know. Um, Also, you're like 10. You can't just get your own place. Ben and Jack just do tricks around town. Um, he So this is like the second time he's had a run-in with the same cop, but this time, like before, the cop was like, "Hey, shouldn't you be in school?" And he was like, "I just moved here. I'm not,
Oh
whatever."
yeah, he's like, I
Then
just moved here
he's
from Alaska, so I'm not going to school yet. Bye, and just like skates off, and the
Yeah,
cop's just like, what? Jack's missing.
yeah. So then he runs into the cop again. He was like, "Hey, shouldn't you be in school?" And he was like, I'm homeschooled. See ya." But the cop follows him and sees that he is sleeping at like living at this abandoned pool essentially. So the cop later brings the social worker back while Ben and Jack are not there. And essentially are like, hey, they check out the shed and she's like, yeah, this is definitely where he's been living. And then Ben like comes back and sees them in there and the cop is like, hey, don't worry, like we'll keep a surveillance on this place so that, when he comes back, we'll find him. Um, so then they immediately skate off and Ben, I don't know, goes off a jump and falls or something and then just like breaks his board. And I was like, what the fuck?
And
And he's
just
sad about it.
sulks over in the fucking corner or whatever.
Yeah, he like I don't know. It kind of looked like he broke the board himself. So like, I was like, why
That's-
did he do that?
How how do you break a skateboard as a 10-year-old kid?
Going off like a
I,
1-inch jump.
I
I don't know.
I have an incredibly difficult time, like, even being concerned about breaking mine as an adult.
Yeah, I don't know. But he's like sad about it because he's like, and now I can't enter the competition and I won't get sponsored and we won't have a cool mansion. And Jack like tries to give him his
Just
skateboard, but
buy that mansion with $1,000 fucking first prize
yeah,
money.
yep.
Hell yeah.
Uh, Jack tries to give him his board and Ben's like, nah, brah, there's no pop in it. He's like, I won't be able to do tricks on that piece of shit, even though it's good enough for a chimpanzee, but it's not good enough for me, Ben, ultimate skateboarder. So
What a
Jack,
dick. I hope he loses the contest. I hope Bob Burnquist goes out there and smokes his ass.
so Jake is immediately Jack. Oh my god.
You're thinking of him as Jake from Skate Farm. That's why.
That's right. That's
Skate farm.
okay, I like that. Okay, so Jack rides away to dumpster dive to try and get Ben a new skateboard. Al comes out and is just like, "Hey, what's going on?" And Ben is like, well, I was gonna enter this competition, but I can't because my board broke." And he's like, "Okay, well, show me what you got." And he's like, I can't. My skateboard's broken." So comes out and is just like, "Hey, here it goes. Here's a board." And he does some tricks.
He gives him the board that he was in there looking at before, which is literally just like an orange board with a picture of a fucking monkey on the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, you got all these
Also,
other fucking sponsorships on here. You couldn't have gotten, like, anything.
Get like a zero, you know?
Yeah, even just, like,
Toy
Alien
machine.
Workshop or fucking whatever.
well, it's like they had the stickers everywhere of like of just like Etny, like a bunch of other ones, but then like yeah, maybe they just like weren't affiliated, I guess, because like when he actually goes in the shop, I didn't really see anything.
Do you think Richard
Real.
Karn knows what an ollie is?
No.
Absolutely not.
But it is pretty clever.
I- I do like imagining him on the set, just like getting baked with Bob Burnquist talking about skateboarding, and Al's like, I don't know what that means.
I just like,
Right,
I
well-
like to think that at one point Bob convinced him to fucking go, like, just drop in to, like, a half pipe, and he just fucking wrecked his shit.
I'm sure that I think that probably
Or
did happen.
Richard did, like, a fucking 720.
Yeah, he's either the best ever or he doesn't know what a skateboard is. I'm not sure.
He absolutely bust out a Varial McTwist.
So he's like, "Here's this board, show me what you got." He does some tricks. Up until the competition, though, I was like, this kid hasn't done anything to make me feel like he could win a skateboarding competition. Like,
No, this kid sucks at skateboarding. He
he's
can,
like
he
nothing.
can, like, actually ride it. He can't do any tricks that aren't, like, barely ollieing off a ramp.
Me and
which,
him
like,
are on the same level.
yeah, I was like, which to be fair, he's definitely better than me, but I don't think he could win. Just like show up at this competition and just win.
To be
But
fair,
anyways,
the competition was not really good either, so...
I mean, no, it's like a bunch of 8-year-olds. Not that 8-year-olds can't be super good, but
That's
just
what
saying.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
This
same.
I'm
kid
saying
is-
8-year-olds can't be good.
I'm saying
Okay, well.
Tony Hawk would just demolish an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony Hawk
Just
at
kick
8
the
could
shit out of him.
demolish anybody. So, okay, he does some tricks. Al is essentially just like, "Holy Toledo, there's a monkey here," and without further ado, they go back to his house and eat marshmallows. They're just like eating a huge bowl of marshmallows, and I was like, "All right." So he is essentially like, "Hey, the competition's tomorrow. Why don't you just bunk up in my loft?" And Ben doesn't even say thank you or anything, just like shrugs and goes upstairs with Jack to go to bed. I was like, you ungrateful brat. This guy gave you a skateboard that he was gonna charge you $50 for, and he's letting you sleep at his house, and you just like could not give a shit.
Also, that's a pretty fucking good deal for a skateboard.
Yeah,
$50.
all put together.
Yeah, I mean, especially yeah. So they go up to bed and they're like sleeping, and then Ben wakes up and is like, "Oh my God, how did he know what my name is? We need to leave." And then the monkey just like gives him some side eye, and he was like, "Okay, well, I'll stay. It's probably fine," and it goes to sleep. Meanwhile, Al does call the social worker, and he's like, "I think I know where Ben is." And then it cuts to, I wrote, okay, now Louis is driving the RV and the old guy is sleeping. So he's just got this chimpanzee driving an RV down the street.
Yep.
Okay, this was like the weirdest part of the movie. So the next morning, Al is like down in the kitchen, and Jack comes down, and he's just like, "Hey, Jack, want to whip up some pancakes?" And then all of a sudden, like, the monkey is like whipping the hell out of a bowl of pancake mix with a whisk, and there's like flour going everywhere. And the music, I just wrote, whips up some pancakes to insane music. It was like,
Yeah, silly song.
it was like, but it was like, and it was like sped up. It was
skull music.
bizarre. Yeah, it was like so bizarre. And then Ben comes down and it's just like, what a mess.
The best
you know,
scene of the movie.
Monotone because he has no emotions. Oh my God. So finally Louis has made it to the stadium, the hockey stadium, and the old man is like, "Oh, I'll stay here in case you need help." So he goes into the locker room, and all of these guys think that he's Jack, and they're like, "Yay, he's back. He can play hockey." And I was like, what? Why are they all of a sudden like, oh, it's because, like, okay,
All these dudes are all racist. They just think all
the monkeys
hockey playing monkeys look the same.
right? But also it's like, okay, like, I know that the one guy was like, "Hey, we're gonna like look into this situation and see if he actually got bit," but they never actually say, unless I missed it, that he's been cleared. So
Yeah,
like, it went from them looking for him, right, which we know, but then all of a sudden they're just like, "Yeah, he can play again. He's here." And I was like, what?
It's because when like Louis goes out there and starts like skating around and he's fucking terrible at it, the other guy's like, "Fuck it, let him play then. Who cares? He's not good anymore."
Well, I know that, but like the team is all happy to see him, but like we as the viewers do not know that like they were gonna let him play before the other coach even saw that he was back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it just doesn't make any sense.
I don't like you poking holes in the plot of this movie.
Okay, well, they put Louis out on the ice, but he sucks, and that's when I was like, the coach is like, "What the fuck, he's banned," and the ref is like, "I'll go check it out," and then the ref is like, "Oh, he sucks though, it's fine, he can play." So now we're switching back between the ice skating thing and the skateboard competition. And this is when they like announced that the competition winner gets $1,000, and I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna get your own place with $1,000, okay?" But then they can also win a trip to the nationals. So Ben goes and tries to sign up, but he can't because he doesn't have a guardian. And then I don't know why this was a thing that they did, but Al's like, "Why don't you go have a seat?" And then gives like a quirky smile at the paper guy, and I'm like, why didn't he just say, "Yes, I'm his guardian," and sign it in front of him instead of like doing, I don't know. It just was like, they made his character so weird. They like tried to make him mysterious,
Yeah,
but like
sneaky.
Nothing's happening. Yeah, because then he just sits down and he's like, "Hey, you're in. I signed the papers." And I'm like, why couldn't you just do that in front of him? Anyways.
It would have ruled if this movie ended instead of him being like, "I'm adopting you," or whatever. He'd have been like, "I turned your ass in. Get the fuck back to that foster home."
Give me my skateboard.
They drag Jack away in handcuffs.
Yeah.
We determined you bit him.
Jack is also going to a foster home.
Yeah. In who? I don't know. Some.
They just put him down in front of the kid.
Yeah.
Just like drag him off, and that's the end.
Beat him with the skateboard.
They have a granite knife fight or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so we watch like two other kids skate, and the cop and the social worker show up to like sit in the audience and watch him skate. So then the very last person they call is Ben, and he's like, "What?" Even though like Al told him he was gonna skate, so I don't know what his problem was. So Ben
Yeah.
takes a really long time walking to get to the top of the ramp, and essentially he's just like scared. He's like, I can't do this. I'm like, yeah, probably because you've never dropped in on a ramp before. They're so tall
The
compared to your like baby pool.
the announcer for this
Oh my gosh, yeah.
competition that is like desperately trying to like say moves that these people are doing while all they're really doing is just like going up the ramp and like turning
And
around.
turning around. Yeah.
Like, wow, he just hopped that gap. They just did a
Girl power.
inverted switch foot.
Yeah. She she yeah, she doesn't. She's not great. So he's up there being all scared, like I can't do it, and then Jack shows up and is like, hey, bro, and's got like his sunglasses on. And then this is when the announcer's just like, oh, there's someone else up there with him. Is it a monkey? This competition has just gotten wild. And they start like skating together. They're shredding around, and everyone loves them. And eventually, very unlikely turn of events, Ben wins first place.
Yeah, even though Jack did more actual skate moves than he did.
So did I think her name was Sammy, the girl. Um,
Yeah, but they weren't
like
gonna
the other two.
they weren't gonna let this girl win.
No, they weren't. So then he wins, and they're like, "Yay!" The social worker comes up, um, Ben's like, "No, please, don't take me back." And then this is when Al's just like, "Hey, do you want to live with me? And, like, my house is pretty empty." And he's just like, "Okay." And then the cop is like, "I need to take Jack to play hockey." And he's all like, "They need you. We need to win." And I was like, "What the fuck?" So then this is when Bob Burnquist comes up and is just like, "Hey, cool job. I want to sponsor you. Let's do a victory sesh." And then they start seshing out, you know?
And this is when you actually get to see somebody do anything on a skateboard.
Yeah. So basically they're just like, "Okay, bye." They take Jack back to the stadium, and everyone is like, "What? Another monkey?" Jack and Louie reunite, and this is when Rob is just like, "Oh, that's Louie, his brother." And the old man from the RV is a punk now, I guess. I don't know what's going on with that. He's like in the crowd wearing like a leather jacket with these like punk people.
There was something at the beginning because one of the fucking players on the Sibians, it's like some punk dude, that there were just like people at the beginning like moshing in the crowd for no reason.
I'm assuming it's the guy that had the septum piercing.
No, it was the guy that could barely speak English.
Oh, okay. That's Hot Dog Man. You can't fool me.
I forgot until like you just mentioned something about it though. Like I remember at the beginning, I was like, why are these fucking like there are people moshing in this hockey crowd?
I mean, I don't know anything about hockey. That could be normal to me. So, essentially, Jack plays hockey, and his trainer, and his monkey family are watching on TV. Everyone in the crowd at the hockey stadium is eating bananas. Jack makes a goal.
Stupid.
Right, I know. Right as the buzzer goes off and wins the game. Woohoo!
Then he bites somebody for real.
Oh my god, could you imagine if like he just went crazy and like ripped somebody's face off?
Is that shit where you hear stories about how they like rip off someone's like entire nutsack?
All right.
Yes.
Gritty reboot of MVP, but they use Jack as like a goon, and he's just out there like ripping people's fingers off on the ice.
Well,
Wow.
and that's the thing too, is like there is like the dude on the other team that's literally about to just clobber the shit out of this fucking monkey for winning the game.
Yeah, he's gonna attack this monkey, and like, listen, I don't like monkeys, but I don't want to hurt a monkey, you know?
Oh, also, The oh, I can't remember who it is because I don't think it was the like ice skating competition dude or whatever, but the guy that just goes like spinning into the coach of the other team and fucking knocks his tooth out or some shit. Like
Yeah,
that dude
I
would
don't.
be dead.
He was like teaching one of the other guys how to do like ice skating moves. So I think it was like the guy he was teaching. So yeah, that was actually pretty funny. So yeah, the guy on the other team tries to like he's like, "Oh, you're fucking dead, monkey," and like starts skating at him, but then hot dog guy stops him and is like, "You won't hurt my monkey." So they announce that Jack is the MVP and everyone cheers. Then Ben gives Louis his skateboard and he's like, "Here, now you can skate just like Jack." And then they say goodbye, and the old RV guy drives Louis and Jack back home, and then Louis skates. The end.
This perfect movie.
Cinema.
Yes. I mean, it's honestly, it's
Uh,
not like I expected it to be like almost unwatchable, and it's fine. Like it's a kids
it's
movie.
just,
It's
yeah. Somehow the kids' movies that are bad are somehow more bearable to me than like,
like I. It's weird that it's promoted as like a skateboard movie when that's maybe 20 minutes of the fucking plot, but
yeah, and it's like the only reason that they're skateboarding is because he finds that kid and has to like give him like confidence or whatever. He's like doesn't care about skateboarding.
except he's good at it apparently,
Well,
only because he's actually Wee Man.
yeah, now I'm like looking like is that real? I thought that like in the actual movie it looked pretty believable that he was like doing stuff. So now I
Yeah,
feel like
same.
my reality is being questioned.
I can't even imagine how long it took to teach him to just stay up on that skateboard long enough to get some of those shots, let alone do like a fucking turn on a in a half pipe.
Like 20 minutes whenever they were bribing him with Pepsi.
Yeah, they're just like, we'll give you more Pepsi if you just fucking learn how to skate fast.
That's all it took.
Yeah, this was fine. And
Yeah.
as far as a sequel that we didn't see the first one, at least it's, understandable.
Yeah.
I am curious if like any of these hockey people are from the other team or not, but I'll never
Let's
know because I'm not watching MVP.
No, I'm not either. It was really funny though because whenever I like didn't tell Chris the name of it and I was just like I'm about to watch this movie that's like a monkey skateboarding and he was like, "Is it the most valuable primate whatever?" And I was like, "What the heck?"
Was he like, this was
Oh,
my
okay.
favorite movie as a kid? And
Okay, this is confusing because in the first movie, Bernie and Louie both play Jack. So like how does
Fuck.
Louie also have a
don't
brother?
even look.
Like how's
They look different. Like,
Yeah.
I know.
I got some bad news for you guys from Weekly World News.
Uh-oh. News is
Is Jack
continuing.
dead?
2020, 2020 is going to repeat.
Oh, no.
I mean,
I'm ready for it this time. Oh, this is the fucking Killer Wasp month or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, we've been here. Said it'll be killer Jack Russell Terriers.
at least they're
They're gonna
cute.
come botch
Yeah.
pile drivers on everybody.
I'm fine with Wishbone killing me.
What's the story? Wish.
All right, Katie, did you see like any news?
Um, not totally. Let's see. Crispin Glover is set to star in a new series on HBO Max called Redbird Lane, which is going to be a psychological thriller. I didn't see any kind of date on that, but I'm into it.
I think I saw something about that. I'll check it out just because Crispin Glover's in it.
Yeah, exactly. Um, let's see. They're doing a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road called Furiosa. and it's set to star Anya Taylor-Joy, which is the girl from Queen's Gambit, so I might actually watch it. That's not going to come out till 2023 though, so we'll see if we're alive then. There's
Yeah,
a new
it's way too long to ask me to stay alive.
yeah, I know. There's a trailer for the new Joko Anwar movie called Queen of Black Magic, and
I'm in.
that's supposed to come out January 28th on Shudder. The trailer's out now, and it's gonna be bananas, I think.
Oh.
No pun intended. That's all, really.
All right. Do you guys watch anything in like the week off?
Not Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
There's no way
I was.
I will ever watch that.
Whenever I sign up for HBO Max, I'll probably watch it. But
I thought the first one was like intolerable, so there's just no way that I'm gonna be able to sit through like 2 hours of another one.
The first one's the only modern DC movie I've seen that I thought was worth watching. So I can't imagine. I don't know. Based on the reviews, like I've seen, it's either gonna be extremely unwatchable or like okay.
Right.
Uh,
I just didn't like the first one, so I just really doubt I'll like this second one.
I'm only interested in Kristen Wiig as Cheetah.
Well, the thing that I saw was that like I don't really know that much about it because like I didn't follow the news, but people thought that she was gonna be like the main villain, and I guess she's like not in it that much. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
That's
feel like that's
it's
not cool.
probably Maxwell Lord as the main villain.
I don't know.
I just need to watch a compilation of all of Pedro Pascal's bits, and I think I'll be all right.
It's only
I did watch Godfather Part 2.
boo.
Oh.
That's a Christmas movie, I think. I think that counts.
Oh, I
And
did
then,
watch.
Go ahead, Katie.
I was gonna say, speaking of Christmas movies, I did finally watch Die Hard for the first time, but I was not really paying attention. But for all the people who, for some reason, think that's not a Christmas movie, I think you are stupid. It's definitely a Christmas movie. I just wanted to put in my 2 cents about that.
I think all movies are Christmas movies.
Why not?
Every movie takes place in December, if you think about it.
Sure.
It's so
MVP2
fucking. It's so
definitely did.
like
so.
it's so stupid because now it's like every like couple years it just becomes another movie where it's like, yes, we get it. It takes place during Christmas time. Argue about fucking Lethal Weapon now, I guess. Who cares?
Yeah.
I watched 2 movies: Ernest Saves Christmas and Jiu-Jitsu.
How was?
Jiu-Jitsu is fucking weird.
Incredible.
Did
yeah.
you watch it?
No, I haven't watched it
It's-
yet, but Layla told me it was amazing.
It's like, I don't know. It's like the alien in it is pretty fucking cool looking, and then like the stuff with Tony Jaa and Juju Chan are like the fight scenes with them are like really good. Like there's one point where there's like this like 3 minute like one take fight scene that Tony Jaa does that's fucking pretty incredible. And then Nick Cage is just like extremely weird in it, but they picked like the most boring fucking bland muscly white dude to be the main guy.
Oh.
And he's fucking so bad at acting and he sucks. Like the guy, like the cinematography in it is fucking weird where like in one of the fight scenes the camera like pops in and out from like POV to what everything else is happening, like physically moves into the guy you're supposed to be seeing shit from and then like pops out to see like bigger shit like a ghost leaving his body. It's just real weird. There's some shots where like the camera will like physically like do a 360, so like the camera will like flip and like the entire like what you're seeing flips like upside down and it's like disorienting and weird. Like I just it's almost like this guy learned that you could do like every trick you could do with a camera. It was like, I'm throwing every single thing into this movie, and I'm gonna film it like this scene is gonna be filmed like an action movie, but then I'm gonna film this entire scene like a 1800s drama, but then this scene I'm gonna film like this, like a, you know, Prometheus style sci-fi movie. It's just really strange. So like, I don't know, it's fine. It's like some of the fight scenes are pretty good, and like Nick Cage is just being Nick Cage in it. Other than that, it's kind of passable.
Yeah. Did you watch anything else, Kit?
I continued my Michael Mann journey, and I watched The Keep.
Oh, it's so good.
It fucking rules, and I am now fascinated and obsessed with everything about this movie.
It's I I don't. There's not a Blu-ray release of that yet, right?
No, Michael Mann hates it so much that it was only ever released on Laserdisc
Oh,
and never got any other kind of release. It just showed up on like, iTunes and Prime and stuff like within the last year or two, and it's just an upscaled version of the Laserdisc release.
yeah.
Apparently, whenever it was on streaming services like Netflix and stuff, it didn't have the Tangerine Dream score, so there was just
Oh,
like
what the fuck?
no soundtrack to it.
That score's so good.
It it kicks so much ass. I desperately need them to just release this one on Blu-ray, but I want the 3.5 hour version that Michael Mann made.
Yeah, like
I know, like,
it's
parts of it are unfinished or whatever, but like, give it to me unfinished. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
It's so rad.
yeah, it's great. I knew it wasn't like it had never hit like DVD, but for some reason I was like, well, they'll definitely someone's gonna get the rights to put it on Blu-ray, but apparently not. It's
Yeah,
That's a
Michael Mann
bummer.
just doesn't care enough, and I guess there are some issues with getting the rights to the score or something, which is why it, showed up without it on streaming services. So,
like the minute he dies, they're going to announce like, oh, we assembled a cut of The Keep that he didn't want.
right.
Here it is on Blu-ray. All right. Shout outs, Kit. What?
I didn't say what I watched.
Oh, I thought you did.
No. Well, I said I watched Die Hard, but I don't care
Oh.
about Die Hard.
Wow.
I mean, same. So.
I don't not. Well,
Unbelievable.
whatever. I finally watched Underwater.
Yes.
I really liked it. I thought that I was stressed the whole time. Just like underwater stuff like anything underwater freaks me out. They're like underwater in a space station that's like collapsing around them. So there's like scenes where they have to like crawl through like small broken corridors and like their suits, and it just like I hated it. And I thought the monsters were pretty cool, so I definitely would watch it again. I'm really sad actually. That was one that I did try and go see in the movie theater, but it wasn't playing around me, and I feel like it looked fine on my TV, but I think definitely that would have been like a really cool one to see in the theater. I said in the last one I watched that Creepshow holiday special, which I hated. I didn't hate it. It was just like dumb. I don't know. It was just dumb. Then I tried to watch the animated one, and the animation is just so weird.
The animation's awful.
I just like couldn't. I just couldn't get into it. It's bad. It's not great. And then I also watched Frequency from 2000, and
What's that about? I know.
it's Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel, where the Aurora Borealis somehow makes them be able to communicate on a radio, and his dad died like Dennis Quaid died like 30 years before.
Oh,
And so his
that's
son
right.
is like 36 now, but then they have to solve a murder like serial killer thing, and I was like, this is totally up my alley. Just like it was so wild. I really enjoyed it, but I had never seen it before. Um So I liked it.
I don't remember
And
really anything about it. I know I've seen it though, because I remember that that plot.
it's like it's just like so weird because it just starts off as like talking to my dad on a radio, and then it's like also serial killer, and it's just like so wacky. I loved it. And then I watched all of the HBO documentary I'll Be Gone in the Dark, which is um essentially like, do you guys know anything about Michelle McNamara, who used to
Yeah,
be
Patton Oswalt's
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah.
yeah, so she was like she was like a crime writer like in the 90s or whatever, and she became obsessed with trying to find out like who the Golden State Killer was, and actually she was the one that like came up with that term. And sorry. And she was writing a book and she was like really close to finishing, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, she ended up passing away like really suddenly, like the year before they actually caught him. And so Patton Oswalt and like her team of people went through and like actually came out with the book that she had been working on, but the documentary is a lot more focused on like her, and there's like videos that she like actual videos that she has done with other people, and like text conversations between her and like her friends, and like videos she took of her kid, and it's just like absolutely heartbreaking. Obviously I'm not recommending it to you, but if other people are interested in that kind of thing, it was just like it was really rough, but it was so good. So I like watched all of that yesterday and essentially just cried all day. So
All right. I think the only I pretty much have just been said the other episode just watching 90 Day Fiance.
oh, and then I also watched Soul.
Oh, how's that?
I want to see that.
It's really good. I wasn't it's very different from the other sort of like Pixar movies that have come out recently. But it's really good. I definitely recommend it. Also, I watched it on Christmas and I was just like crying at the end, and Chris was like, I guess it's good. And I was like, it's good. It's really interesting. It's like it's very different. Like I said, it's just very different because it's like a real person, it's not like fairies or talking snowmen and whatnot. It's just like a real guy like living life, and I don't know. It was really good. I definitely recommend it. Especially if you like jazz.
Kit, what pay-per-view are you shouting out?
I don't remember because my WWE network logged me out in the middle of watching something,
Oh, unbelievable.
and I forgot what my password was, and I've been too lazy to log back in.
I hate that.
So
So you'll never watch anything again.
yeah, fuck you, WWE. No, so for my shout out, Mr. Brody Lee, also known as Luke Harper in WWE, passed away. Died of like a lung condition a couple of days ago. So I'm gonna say him versus John Moxley from Double or Nothing back in May of this year. Match absolutely ruled. I think it's up on Daily Motion. If you work for AEW and heard that, just ignore it and leave it up on Daily Motion, please, and don't pull it so people can watch it.
I only ever saw like the stuff he did as like Luke Harper. He was fucking so good for like a dude that big.
Yes, he's super agile.
It was crazy, and like it's just it seemed like I guess it was like all of a sudden, I don't know if it was like a like ongoing condition, but it seemed like nobody knew something was going on if there was. 'Cause it just like
it seems like, he had a dog collar match with Cody Rhodes, which is also really good. And then he's been off TV, and, I just figured he'll be off, however long, and then make a triumphant return wrestling thing.
Yeah.
But I guess behind the scenes, after his initial couple weeks off, they had let everyone know, something's going on. It doesn't look great. Like, please don't let anyone know. And, but the family kind of have privacy and
Yeah.
work through it and stuff. And
Oof.
shit's a bummer. Dude was only 41,
Yeah, he was young.
and like timeline has just. I mean, I've never seen so many different people all have like positive stories about one wrestler. You know,
Yeah, like
usually it'll just be some chunk, but this is
did you see
everyone
like
all
the
over.
thread of like the one that like Big E was tweeting out?
Oh my! Every single day, Big E tweets out like 4 or 5 of them
Yeah.
that like bring me to tears.
Yeah. Just ending this cool year even cooler.
Right?
All right, what about you, Katie?
Soul.
Fair enough.
All right, sad things. Nathan, what's your sad thing?
90 Day Fiance. This
That's sad
That
in a different
is
it's
sad.
way.
yeah, dude. Like it's not my recommendation, but like these fucking the season we started is the one where like it's the other way, so the Americans are like moving to whatever other country. And it's just this fucking one couple of this like young girl and this like young Muslim dude in Jordan. She moves there and like he's just like, yeah, she's gonna move here and convert to like Islam to be married to me. And the first time they introduce her, she's like twerking on a motorbike. And you're just like, this is gonna go not great. And it's just like fucking the two worst people to be together. And it's just like endless fucking arguing about him being like, I can't marry you if you don't convert. And she's like, I'm a free spirit, I do what I want. It's just like, oh my god. And like I've been listening to the podcast 420 Day Fiance, and I'm like ahead of where I'm watching. And so like I know at some point like his parents kick him out because of all this. Like they look at her social media and they're just like, you can't be in our family anymore. And like he's like homeless for a little bit. It's just like fucked up and so
Jesus.
bleak. Spoiler for season 2 of 90 Day Fiance the other way. It's fucking like and well, what's interesting is this season starts where they're doing like the like upcoming on this season, and it's like it has one of the people from the previous season who moves to South Korea, and it teases like this season like they're filming as COVID hits. And so like I haven't made it to that point yet, but like I'm interested to see like what happens with these people while they're all like in, one person's in Jordan, one's in India, this one couple's in South Korea, one's in like Mexico. Like they're all like not in the US, so it's gonna be interesting to see when they hit like December to February of filming.
Yeah.
And like, but like when they tease it, they show the one woman who moved to South Korea, and she's like in her house, like she's like filming shit from like the apartment she's in, where there's just like fucking nobody's outside. And like she's like, you get like a couple minutes of her like sort of like talking about what's happening, and it just looks fucking wild. So this whole season's just like starts out bleak, and then you're just like, oh yeah, this is gonna hit like COVID at some point.
Yeah,
It's-
that's crazy.
Yeah.
It is weird to see like a few of the competition shows that went ahead to record, like some of them are just like Great British Bake Off for this year, they just had everybody come onto the premise and like quarantine
Yeah.
beforehand and then like stay on the premise and they couldn't leave. And then some of the other ones are just like instead of sitting at like one judge's table together, they're sitting at like separate tables that are like super spaced, and it's just like it's very strange.
I know like they just started a brand new season of 90 Day Fiance, so I'm kind of interested to see what that's gonna be like, because it's all shit that has to have been being filmed in like March.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting because the season I'm watching, like for the first time, they did like a mid-season break in it, because I think normally the seasons are only like 15 episodes long, but I think with everything that was happening with like entertainment stuff, they like stretched it out. So I think they like stopped halfway through and like took a break to kind of edit what other footage they had to like stretch it out to like 22 or 23 episodes. So it's been like it's the season's just been rough because it's all bleak and it's stretched out longer than it needs to be.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna finish it just so I can fucking listen to the rest of this podcast. But that wasn't my shout out. My shout out is the
I think it always is.
yes.
Like
My
default.
my shout out is if you want to just watch shit that makes you feel better about your own decisions in life, watch 90 Day Fiance. I'm gonna say the album Wonderland by Radiation 4, which
Hell yeah, I love Wonderwall.
yeah, Oasis. This is an album that you're not gonna be able to buy anywhere, so good luck. But that's what I've been listening to. Next week, continuing our extremely dumb theme of watching movie sequels to movies we haven't seen the previous ones. My pick is Witchcraft 16.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna watch the 16th movie in a series of 15 movies we didn't watch. Which, based on all the covers, I can't imagine it's gonna make a difference.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's either gonna be really confusing or it doesn't matter at all that we don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's so stupid. I was like just looking through and I was looking for anything with like a number after it.
Or if it's like Mirror Mirror, it's the same movie over and over again, so it's like you really don't need to have seen any of them.
Oh god. I know what's gonna happen is we're gonna watch it and I'm gonna end up after we're done watching the other fucking
All of them.
because I think there's more after that. They're just not on Tubi.
Dang.
Christ.
But yeah, that'll be next week. If you want to hear our recently released, when you're listening to this, bonus episode on Danny DeVito movies, which we did Twins, Batman Returns, and Screwed. You can join our Patreon at patreon.com/IHopeYouSufferPodcast.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I guarantee it's probably going to be our best episode
It's
ever.
pretty good. I've listened to it twice after like editing it, and it's I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, do that. Also, working on some other fun Patreon things. You could buy merch and shit at storefrontier.com/IHopeYouSuffer. Leave us ratings and reviews on iTunes. Tell us your favorite movie in the Air Bud cinematic universe. Probably gonna be Spymate, I assume.
Definitely for me.
Follow us on Twitter at IHYSPod and Instagram at IHopeYouSufferPodcast. Follow Kit at Hidden Kitstery on the things, and go listen to his episode of Defenders of the Cake, talking about Tremors.
And a whole bunch of other
And
nonsense.
I messaged Dylan and called him on his bluff about having me on for Ernest movies, so we might be doing that soon.
Hell yeah.
Follow Katie at Werewolf Face on the things, where she was not on a podcast that I could recommend.
Wow.
I don't know, look at her art and talk to her about Soulborn, which is a thing I don't know what it is.
That's okay.
I assume young adult novel. You can listen to my other podcast, Nate and Kate Movie Club, where we recently released an episode on Ernest Saves Christmas. Caitlin was not into it. Yeah, other than that, I guess watch Witchcraft 16 if you want. I'm gonna say probably don't.
I think probably don't, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We could be pleasantly surprised.
If it's good, we'll just do them all in reverse order for
okay.
the next 15 weeks.
I know when I was like going back through our like what we did this year to try and think of like a best, I was like, well, half of the year was Leprechaun.
Yeah, half
so.
of it was Leprechaun and shark movies.
In short, yeah.
All right. I hope you suffer, but Junction 18.
You're crazy.
I hope you
You're
suffer, but silly song.
I hope you suffer, but night fight or whatever.
Granite monkey.
Granite knife.
Granite knife monkey fight.
Granite
I
monkey.
guarantee
street
you,
fight.
most people are gonna skip our present opening thing, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
What is?
Oh God! I hope I'm gonna listen to their entire album before next week's episode.
Okay, report back.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.